Amy and I are on our way home. A little overcast, but it's been a beautiful day here. The wind was low. I ended up training 10 horses today. I told you guys I was going to go 7 and 8. But what it turned out was Amy reminded me that Addie's graduation is tomorrow morning. Now, less formal. It's a kindergarten graduation, but still, Addie's graduation is tomorrow morning, and then I have the Meadows, and then I have racing here tomorrow night. It was going to be impossible to train 8 horses. It's going to be a tight fit to train the ones we have. I want to go with Uncle Danny tomorrow. Swaney can actually go in a set. She doesn't need to train in the race bike tomorrow. Where are we going here? Yeah, we're going to Columbus. And who was the other horse?
Uncle Danny and...
Wayne, and there was one other one.
It was Rico.
Rico Tubbs. I can train Danny and Rico Tubbs tomorrow. Everybody else can go in sets. So, I was talking to James today. All the horses went to Mohawk also today. And I trained everybody that I thought needed to go. Now, the horses that are on my list to go right now are the potential next generation horses, right? I went with the 2 pacers yesterday, Diosadella, Donza, and Highest Honors. They won a mile in 2 minutes and 2-1. And then I went with, I wanted to go with Uncle Danny. What? Tomboy Strong.
I was wondering. I was just literally...
She has to be on the list tomorrow. She has to be on the list tomorrow. So Tomboy Strong and Uncle Danny are going to train tomorrow. Now, I'll run through who I went with today. A couple of horses jumped out. One was not shocking at all. The other one, although not super shocking, I was surprising how good she trained, how quick she was, and how long she carried her speed. Those are the 3 things that you really have to look at this time of year, right? You'll stretch a number of them out, and you'll be like, oh, they're a little stretched out, and then you'll go with them. Millie Girl seemed a little stiff over her back, too. And when she trains, does her tail usually pop up?
No.
So she is a little stiff. She might have tied up a little bit this week at some point, because I noticed when I turned her to go a mile, her tail popped up a bit, and then I showed Carla afterwards over her back. She was a little stiff. Now, I went a mile 59 and 3 with Millie Girl. She was very, very good. But as I said to Amy, there were signs that maybe she had cramped up, tied up a little bit. It's not the end of the world. It'll go away quick and dissipate. But food for thought over the next week. Now, I started my day with Go Strong Hanover. I didn't know how he'd be, and he was just shod yesterday. It infuriates me when the blacksmith shoes the horse the day before they race or train. It bothers me to no end. And I didn't know how Go Strong Hanover would be. I pulled his bell boots off. Oh no, we left them on because he was just shod. But I don't think he needs them. Train great. 2-3, last half in a minute, last quarter in 29 seconds. And felt like the legend of Go Strong Hanover. You know, all these stories I hear about Go Strong Hanover, how good he is. That's how he felt today. I only went with him once. He was kind of out of sorts. It was about 3-4 weeks ago. It was one of the turning points. The reason why we castrated him was the way he trained the day I went with him. But today he was very, very, very good. In New York, I went with him also. 2-5, he made a break right at the wire, but I think he was a little weak, getting a little rolly. I did put the hobbles on him today, and I left him out long. So he's just interfering in the straightaway. So a change of surface may actually help him also. So what I might do, I am going to take a load of horses over to the Meadows next Tuesday morning to school. And if there's a spot on that trailer left in New York, we'll likely fill it. He's small enough. I could probably put him in the front seat, put the seatbelt on him.
Oh, he's getting big, though.
So in New York, 2-5, last half in a minute today. He was actually very good. Jailbird Jog was exactly how I thought she'd be. 2 minutes, last quarter in 28-2, and she felt like she could go a mile about 56 right now. She was exceptionally good this morning. I was really, really not shocked at all, but very, very surprised how strong she really is. It always surprises me how durable and strong this filly can be. I mean, she's built like a squash ball.
Was she okay with nothing in her mouth?
But by herself. We took the dog chain and everything off her today. By herself, she's going to be fine. And it's funny because when you're following a helmet, she's 2 fingers. It's before and after that.
Or
It's
if you
where
move her.
you move her, it's game on.
Yeah.
You coming off the car, she's one of those horses where you're going to have to duck her, you're going to have to duck her, you're going to have to duck her, because if you start up her engine anytime soon, like anytime in the early part, she's smart enough though. I think she'll pick it up. But man, she is one.
I wound her up with nothing in her mouth, and she wasn't terrible.
She was perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. In fact, I let her hobbles out to score to go with her, and she run going in the first turn. I said, I pulled them in, like her hobbles are tight. they're tight. And I'm like, she's going by herself. Track's in good shape today. A little deep, maybe. I'm just going to let them out a little bit. No, don't do that. Can't do that. I have to keep reminding myself, don't do that.
She ran in the straightaway?
Right in the straightaway for no reason whatsoever. We were getting up to the quarter pole. We were going to be there in like 30 seconds. So I had to pull her up and walk her for a couple of minutes just to let her cool down, and then I went my mile. That's how strong she was. I went my mile after that, and she couldn't blow a match out when she came in. Well, this is true. Millie girl trained good, 59-3, as I said. She was really good, but was tight over her back, and a telltale sign that a horse tied up a little bit. You see that tail pop up in the air a little bit, especially horses that don't generally do it. Once in a while, you have horses that do that, but consistently. And Amy goes to Millie girl all the time, and you just heard her. She said she doesn't do that, so for sure she was a little crampy today. Amy, always worried about pretty eyes and lies that splint, and she stands up and she's fat. And, well, it's true. You worry an awful lot about pretty eyes and lies. And I told her, you know what I love? Another thing I love about the International Money breed, they get better in the dog days of training when you're getting closer to qualifying. They use those training miles all the time. What I mean by that is they get incrementally, marginally better every time you train them. And last week I went a mile on 2.5 with Pretty Eyes and Lies. She felt okay, but 2.2 last quarter in 30 seconds. Last quarter in 30 seconds.
Is that not the same as a mile in 2.5 in the jog cart?
2.5 in the jog cart would be tougher, but
isn't that what she did last week?
2.7.
Oh,
2.8 in the jog cart at a mile and a half, and today 2.2. But that's a 2-year-old trot filly by herself on a half-mile track with an open bridle on. You have to be very focused to do your job completely right as a 2-year-old trotter with an open bridle on, with all the horses training and jogging, just you going the right way of the track. You have to be dialed in, and she was very good. Now, the biggest surprise to me of the day, and it wasn't really a surprise, but just how fast, strong, and how fit she was Zena Kemp. I went a mile in 2:1-3 last quarter, and like 28-4 with Zena Kemp, again all by herself, and she just felt perfect. Like I knew and expected. Nothing Jailbird Jog does now surprises me. Nothing. But I hadn't gone with Zena Kemp in a very, very long time. And I want you guys, this is a perfect example to go back and look at how these horses were in March. Zena Kemp was running all over the track. Her knees were killing her. We had to shut her down, blistered her sesamoids behind, blistered her knees up front, had to not train her for 2 weeks. All that led to today. She as sound as a dollar. She's not running in. She's not running out. In fact, she was busting it around the last turn. She never put a step in. But that is why we train them the way we train them. And I'm certainly not going to say this is a better way or this is the way you should. There's a million ways to train a horse. But when I see all our horses, the way they train down, then I said to James, the proudest thing I am right now is that, the best feeling I have right now is that every one of our horses are going to qualify.
Don't jinx it.
I don't think I'm going to jinx it. Like Neuromancer's going to be a little late to the party, and a couple of the other horses are going to be a little late to the party, but they're going to get there. No significant lameness to speak of, and yes, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx it. No significant lameness to talk about. Those minor little issues, those were the Zena Kemps, right? Those were the horses that had minor issues. She went out and looked unbelievably good today. Now, tomorrow is important, but I highly doubt you're going to see any issues with Zena Kemp. She was very, very good today. Perfect Thought was great. Now, I went a mile and 2.6 with Perfect Thought. She missed last week's training. Dr. Latessa came up to the fence and watched her go. She was exceptionally good. We shocked her ankles afterwards. But only went a mile and 2.6, come like 28-3 with her, and I mean a bow in her neck. She just feels different than the other horses, right? Just feels a little bit different. She's such a nice filly, and she paces so smooth. I can't wait to see her race this summer, and she was, as I said, last half in like 59, last quarter in 28-3, and she was perfect. Captain Doolittle, happy to report for all the Doolittlers out there, 2-4, last quarter in 30-1, last half in 101 for Captain Doolittle. He was very, very good today.
Did he take a crap during the mile?
He did.
Why does he do that?
Yeah, you got to warm those horses up twice. I'll tell you who used to yes, he would get you.
So would Kemp.
Just like an elephant, just unload on you.
Yeah.
Though. It was just gross. But that yes used to do that very bad. Worst I ever saw. Captain Doolittle, just he's just empty now, but he was good. Love Sensation was last. Blue Rare, 2-1-3, 28-2 on the end of it. She'll be heading to Ontario very, very soon. I can't say enough about this filly, how much I like her. And I was so happy to see her do this today because I told you guys a little flat the last 2-3 weeks. Was I wrong about her? Maybe that ceiling wasn't quite as high as I thought it was. Or maybe that engine wasn't quite as big as I thought it was. She was very good today. Very, very good. Now, the last horse I went with was Love Sensation. She made a break coming in the last turn, but it was not her fault. She was touching her outside knee pretty good. She needs shod bad. The track was getting really loose because they were working on it all day. They took the pylons out. I said to Amy, they have to grade that track. There's no way you're going to race on that track without it being graded. You pour water to it, it was okay for about 45 minutes, but we caught the tail end of all of that with Love Sensation, and she was slapping on her outside knee in that last turn, which is so rare. She just needs shod pretty good. She was going to go a mile in 2-3, 2-4, made a break coming out of the last turn, but I have no concerns with that. James had told me that they trained everybody at Mohawk today. He said Solidarity and Dune went a mile in 2-1. He said, Anthony, we weren't sure. He said, I'm telling you. Now, James went riding the rodeo. She was back about 3 lengths from these two because they sprinted away. He raves about Dune, how good Dune is. Now, I talked to Art the other night, Art McNamara, and he said, Anthony, between the green races and fillies that aren't ready and aren't going, there probably only will be one division in Michigan. And James said, well, if there's only going to be one division, they're going to race for 11 US. You may as well race her there and let her grow up in on those tracks. So she's going to qualify in the 8th. He said, but I will tell you this. She is one of the nicest fillies I've gone with in a while. And he said, I didn't go with her today. Johnny went with her. He said, I'm telling you right now, she'd come 27 seconds if she came 35 seconds. He said she come 27 seconds. Her and Solidarity were sprinting down the lane, the last 1/8 and a bit, for sure. James said the other filly couldn't really stay with them. She was back a bit. Now, I will say this. Riding the rodeo still has that mucus in her nose, still has that allergy mucus there. So I said to James, what we need to do with riding the rodeo is simple. You can give her some dexamethasone maybe the day before. That'll alleviate any of those allergies. Maybe the morning of. Now, you can't race or qualify on it, but you can train on it. That will help her get down to where we need her to be. Keep her on the air mask. Keep working, what's it called, the FlexiNav. Keep working on her airways all summer long. We may have to go very easy with her in July and August as the heat of the summer hits. I said she could be one of these fillies where we race her the first couple, go easy through the summer, and catch the last little bit into the latter part of the fall with her. You can't only race them so much. And if mathematically we can get her into, if, God willing, a gold final, a gold super final, or golds if she's good enough, or even the grassroots final, managing her throughout the heat of the summer, I think that will make the most sense of all. And that's something that James and I and Dominic are going to have to talk about in depth. He said, listen, she's a big filly. Dune is not a giant. She's a perfect medium-sized filly, and as is Solidarity. He said, so I have the big giant. They come 27 seconds, and I couldn't quite catch them. He said, by the time she gets to qualifiers, who knows what she'll do. He said, she's a nice filly, but she wants no part of definitely Dune and potentially Solidarity, who apparently put on quite a show this morning at Mohawk. And James never calls me about horses training, right? He's never one to pick up the phone and call me, but he wanted to talk about how everybody was. The only concerning part of Mohawk was he said that Sterling Hanover was making a little noise. What we might find when we scope him is he's entrapped. Who's the horse we had to do last week? Gymboree. Never made a noise, never had any issues, but she was entrapped. And it sounds like we're going to find a little entrapment with Sterling Hanover, so we may have to, it may cut into his ability to qualify in June. It might be a little bit later, towards the end of June, into July, mid-July maybe even. But we'll see. I don't want to jump to conclusions with him, but James says he was making a little bit of a noise. We need to address that immediately. Everybody else was good. Ride the Rodeo, Sterling Dune, Simply Chaotic, 2-5 last quarter in 29 seconds. Simply Chaotic, James's filly, what's her name? Last something to Lexington or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Steady Volo, Simply Chaotic, and James's filly right across the track, 2-5, 29 on the end of it. And then Lifting Legend, 1 mile in 2-6, 2-5. And not right behind him, a little bit behind him was Sterling Hanover. James said he made a little bit of a noise and did not train. Mechanically, he was fine. I should say physically, he was fine. Mechanically, his airway mechanics, he was worried that maybe he had flipped or was entrapped. He certainly never made a noise for us over here or in the times we trained him all winter. So usually it could be for a multitude of reasons, but you might find an entrapment this time of year, and that's exactly what it sounds like we did. Now I'll wait to hear from the vet, but for a horse that never made a noise to obviously start making one certainly sounds like an entrapment to me. So there you have it. We had 10, 17, 18 counting James's horses train in the race bike today on both sides of the border. I can only speak from my personal experience this morning. Zena Kemp blew me away. Jailbird Jog was exactly as advertised, was absolutely bionic. Go Strong Hanover was very good, and he missed a little time because he was castrated too. And then Perfect Thought, great. Everybody I went with today, the only mistake made the entire day was the last horse, and that was Love Sensation. She just simply spun off that track, hit her knee, and made a break. We need boots on her. She's fine, but does need to be shod. Dune apparently is turning some heads in Ontario. Will she make it to Michigan for the 8th or not? I'm not sure. We're all going to find out together. I'm not going to commit to anything just yet. Originally, I said she'd stay at Mohawk, but we'll see how she qualifies on June. It's not June the 8th. It's June the 6th and 7th. We'll see how she qualifies on likely June the 6th.
But then how's she going to race in the race on the 8th?
There's no race on the 8th. The race is on the 15th.
Oh.
June 15th is the first race. It would be 9 days later. So that would be the likeliest outcome, would be her going to Michigan, I guess. But if she stays in Ontario, that's fine with me. It will be up to James and Dominic. So with that, you are all caught up on this Tuesday. We have racing tonight. What do we get in tonight? We have Never Lose Felix, Blue Ventura, and Admiral Dio going tight. Dio's got the outside. No, Felix should be all right. I think Felix will be fine, and Blue Ventura's, they're both 6-5 and 7-5. We have Ava's graduation at 4:30, starting at 5 o'clock. After that, quick dinner with Amy's family. Your dad said he's going to stay down Thursday now and go to Ollie's baseball game on Thursday. So, Lyle and Shelley will be down for a couple of days. That's always good. Food was good last night. I have to try that again Thursday, maybe.
It wasn't that hard.
It was not that hard, and it was exceptionally good. So I will talk to you all very soon. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. It was a very long morning and tiring morning for me, but you know what? I'm sharp as a tack right now. I will talk to you all soon. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day, wherever you might be.